Okay, today we're going to do a demonstration of a Okamoto 16 by 32 surface grinder. This is a 3-axis surface grinder. We have a magnet on here. I'll take this cover off so we can see a little better. The magnet is 16 by 32. This is the control. This is your chuck control. The voltage on the machine is 220 volts. These are the hydraulic controls. This is the speed of the table on and off. This is to select whether you're going to be in just a plunge grinding mode or surface grinding mode or continuous saddle movement back and forth. So let me go ahead and start this up. Let's make sure this is off. Over here is your hydraulic. We start that up. Over here is the grinding wheel. We start that up. And then when we open up our table speed, we have a switch here to get the table moving. So as you can see right now, my cross feed is also moving at the same time for surface grinding. There is a set of dogs over here on the left side to adjust the stroke of the saddle. This switch here will park the table. We have a mode here with a rapid up and down of the wheel head. We come down. You have a readout here also showing you. Also this manual pulse generator to come down a little bit slower. It has 3 different rates. Goes as fine as 10 millionths, the last digit on the end here. Okay, and then this can be zeroed so you can actually see what you're doing each time. All right, so this will start the table again. We can do plunge grinding or slot grinding as well as surface grinding by selecting this mode here. And what we'll do is we'll put in a value here, say 10 thousandths, and I can start this downfeed cycle. First part of the program is taking off the material in the coarse mode, 1 thousandths at each pass, until we get down to 1 thousandths before final size, in which it will switch to feeding 1/10 each pass. So here we're going to start at your 10th increment, right down to 0. There's also a selector switch here to say how many spark out passes you want to make at the end of the cycle. So we're coming down to 0 now, and we're going to do a spark out pass there and back, and here it should stop. That's the end of that cycle. Now we can also do a surface grinding. This program that I just did fed on both sides. We can also make it only feed on one side. Okay, select surface grinding and put a value in here. And we start the table. Now it's only going to feed down at the reversal of the saddle, like a typical surface grinder. Well, we're taking 10 thousandths off, and the first time we reverse, we'll take off 1 thousandths, leaving us 9 thousandths on the part. So this will go back and forth like this, working its way down to 0, and then also do the spark out. You adjust the step that this saddle is making now with this control here, this knob. The more you turn it so that this indicator comes out, the bigger a step you have. The more you turn it counterclockwise, a smaller step you'll have. Well, let me just go ahead and park this for a moment. This is your chuck controller. You've got full automatic plus a variable hold and a demag cycle on here. This is a Nutrifier 2. I'm just going to go ahead and stop the cycle. And if you're moving a little closer with the camera, I can show you how this program here works. Right here I have it set in traverse. This will be a plunge cycle because it just goes quicker for the demo. Over here where it says stock removal, you put in a value. In this case I'm going to reset it and put in 10,000. That's 0.01. That's 10 thousandths. Here you've got a down feed, rough feed amount of, I have in there 10, which is equivalent to 1,000ths. And then your fine feed, it was read in tenths, so the 1 indicates 1/10. And this is your changeover point from the rough to the fine, which will happen at 1,000ths before 0. So if we start this cycle now, each time we go back and forth, as soon as I put this in automatic, right now in the stock removal, that's for setting up. It's not going to feed until I go here. Now we go down 1,000ths, 8,000ths, to 7, each time taking off 1,000 until I get to 1,000ths. Then it switches to the fine feed. Of course, you could put any value in there you want. You would put your actual stock removal in there. And now we're taking off tenths. When this gets down to 0, it'll do a certain amount of spark out passes. I have it just set for 1. So the video goes by quicker. So now we're in spark out mode. The feed is stopped. And then the machine parks. So for your next workpiece, you would actually need to go back to your stock removal, put the piece on the chuck, physically touch it with the grinding wheel, clean it up, measure it, and then here you would put in whatever value it is that you needed to remove. Say it was 4,000ths, 3/10. You start that cycle, put this in automatic, and it'll feed that down to 0. Again, when it gets to the 100, it's going to start feeding in the tenths, right down to 0. It's a very easy machine to program and run once you get used to it. It doesn't take very long. It's very user-friendly. You've got your coolant here, a dust collector if you have one. You wrap it up and down. You have an incremental, just in case you want a push button, just to take a slight amount. Each time you press that, the grinding wheel will come down. Here's your different modes. Plunge grinding, feeding on the right side only. Plunge grinding, feeding on both sides. And then your surface grinding, where you're going with the saddle back and forth. And we've got our coolant tank mounted at the side of the machine here. This is has a magnetic separator and a separation tank inside there. It plugs into the side. There's an outlet on that for that. And I guess we've covered everything. This is above the wheel dresser. This is an automatic dresser. When this goes back and forth, it automatically increments for you so that you have enough material for the next dress. All right, so I guess that we've covered everything. Go ahead and shut it off.